Welcome everyone to the Summerslam review. I'm Brett Mix here at Macho Wrestling 101. Hit like and subscribe if you like my videos. I do history of wrestling every day, and I stick up to date with the Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views. So if you hit subscribe, that'd mean a lot to me. I got the Macho Man shirt, I got the microphone, and I'm all ready to go. SummerSlam 2006, August 20th, 2006 to be exact, from the TD Bank North Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. We had a big event. We had Cena and Edge headlining the show. DX was back, so that was a big thing. So here we go. Let's get started with the opener. It was Chavo Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. Obviously, Eddie Guerrero's death had happened at this time a few months earlier, so Vicky Guerrero was in the storylines, anything to do with Rey Mysterio, basically. She would end up being an important figure in the match for Mysterio the year before at SummerSlam in the battle for custody of Dominic, and she'd end up being a figure in this Royal match because it was a decent match between Rey and Chavo. Decent by their standards, great just for a normal match, but by their standards is decent. Vicky got involved. Vicky ended up yelling at Rey and actually grabbed the top rope when Mysterio was going to do a top rope move to Chavo. Guerrero picked up Mysterio, Chavo did, and he hit a brainbuster, and then Chavo went up top and hit Eddie with the frogs, hit Rey with Eddie's move, the frog splash, and Chavo ended up getting the victory at 11:01. So Vicky cost Rey Mysterio the match. So a good match between these two. Like always, I give it 3 stars and a half. Great opener. It only went 11 minutes, but it felt like it's time. Vicky Guerrero getting involved would set up her leaving Rey, and this storyline had where each of the 3 people, Chavo, Rey, and Vicky, all thought they were doing the right thing or the noble thing to respect Eddie Guerrero's memory, but we all knew Chavo was not. Chavo was the heel here, even though he did turn from heel to face as Kerwin White back to Chavo Guerrero, but then he turned heel in the spring here so he could feud with Rey for SummerSlam. So Vicky turned herself heel here. That was the story. But as for an opener wrestling wise, without the story, 3 stars and a half. Next we had the ECW on the line because ECW was the 3rd brand back then. Big Show was the champion and Sabu was the challenger. Sabu gets a decent ovation. He's really over the hill at the time. They botched a couple moves in this one, and it was really just a spot fest and a kind of a boring one for a spot fest. It went 8:31. Big Show chokeslammed Sabu through a table and got the victory. I rate this match a star and a half. It was just kind of a mess. It wasn't really exciting at any point. Then there's a backstage segment with all the divas, and my God, it's probably one of the worst acted segments I've ever seen in my entire life. Trish tells Layla that she can't be a real diva, and she went to everyone. Ashley Massaro, Tori, rest in peace, Tori Wilson, Maria, Kelly, all these girls, and talks about why they can be divas, but Layla can't because she won a competition. And then Trish said something along the lines of, if you think you can walk in here and be a diva, and then she paused and she went, you totally can, and laughed. Need the golf clap out for that one. And then the more entertaining part of the segment, they stripped her to her thong and put her in the shower for her initiation. That was okay. Anyways, back to wrestling. Randy Orton versus Hulk Hogan. I thought I said back to wrestling. Just kidding, Hulk. Hogan was 53 years old. Orton was 26. So he was half his age. But here they go. And the momentum shifted. Orton beat on Hogan for the first half. Hogan hulked up, did his thing. They actually did a formulaic match a little bit better than I expected, actually. It was 2.5 stars. I'd rate it. Hogan gets the win, and he goes to 6-0 at SummerSlam with the leg drop at 10:56 of the wrestling match. And I call it a wrestling match because it really was. It was in respect to Randy Orton, the job he did. And Hulk, obviously, he was limited with what he could do body-wise, but this was his last match in the WWE. And I'll give it a decent rating for that. I bump it up a couple points. So 2.5 stars. Hogan then saw a fan with his back tattoo, a tattoo of Hogan on the back, and he did like a fist bump with the tattoo. Next up, we got Mick Foley and Ric Flair wrestling in a hardcore match, or I Quit match, actually. And this is based on real life heat. They both wrote bad things each other in their book. They couldn't get along, so they're just going to have an I Quit match. They actually went toe-to-toe and kind of beat the hell out of each other for this. Melina came out at the end because Melina was friends with Mick Foley in the storyline, and Foley had turned heel for this match. I think Flair would have been the better as the heel and Foley the face in this match. I just think Flair plays a better heel. He's one of the best heels ever. And Mick Foley is Mick Foley. But Foley just liked going along as the heel. So Flair, I can't buy Flair as the face that we should stick up for when he was the asshole in his book. Foley was just joking about Ric Flair in his book. Ric Flair pretty much called Foley no talent asshole. That's pretty much what he called him. So I don't see how Flair is the heel. Kind of like when the Mega Powers exploded, but that's for other reasons. There's other stories there. And when I'm talking about the Mega Powers exploding, I'm saying, why is he the heel in the story? It doesn't make sense. Nonetheless, they beat the hell out of each other for their age. Foley had a great comeback match with Orton in 2004. Great comeback match with Edge in 2006. Classic. And he comes back with Ric Flair and again in 2006 and has another great match. And they knew it would be great if they could beat the hell out of each other, and they did. I know that one of the barbed wire bats is real and one of them is fake. And they usually use the fake one when they're grinding the face. I don't know if people know that, because the barbed wire looks real. And there is real barbed wire, but when it doesn't stick to the skin and the clothing, you can tell. And that's what they usually do the face bumps with. They blade and then they do the face bump. They do it very carefully. But you can tell. I know if that wrecked the intrigue or if that wrecked the match for anyone, I'm sorry. But I've seen up close the street fight with Foley and Triple H at the Garden. I saw the real one and they put the fake one by under the announce table. I'm sorry if I wrecked that match for you too. They do reuse real barbed wire for some of the spots, but then they do the fake bat as well. They have a fake bat as well. It looks exactly like the real bat. Just if you look in, it's lighter gray color, and it doesn't have the actual pick on the fencing. Nevertheless, still a classic match between Flair and Foley. As classic as one can be for a aged brawl. 3.5 stars. I'd give that, actually. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna change my rating to 3.5 stars. That was quite the fight. I had it just at 3, I believe. I just said, but I'm gonna put that up to 3.5. Next up, we have Booker T versus Batista for the world title, and Booker T is the heel champion. He just won the big one, so no longer just a 5-time champion. He's a 6-time champion, or a 1-time WWE champion. If you count the world title, the WWE title, they pretty much do, so why wouldn't we? Booker T was King Booker at this time, and if you don't know, just ask his wife, Queen Sharmell, the one that says, "Oh, hail King Booker," about 10,000 times during his entrance. This match didn't go over very well. The crowd was bored. It went 10-26. Batista ended up winning by DQ. Booker T won the world title. Sharmell got involved. The crowd wasn't happy with the finish. They weren't happy with the match, and we all just can separate. I'm not happy with reviewing the match, so I give it 1 star. I don't think it deserves very much more. Batista and Booker were both counting on the other one to work, and it didn't end up to be a very good match. If it went shorter, I might have given it better rating, but it was painfully long, and that's just a 10-minute match. So I'm not into King Booker. I know it worked for some people, and it might have been fun for him and fun for some of the fans, but I wasn't a fan. I thought Booker T, but as himself, was great. I didn't think they needed a King Booker, but so it happened, and so it was successful, at least world title wise. Next, we have DX, Shawn and Triple H, who had reunited against the McMahons. This had been following all the way from WrestleMania. A lot of bumping in this match. This was another fun weapons match with older guys that was better than thought, like just like Flair and Foley earlier in the night. McMahon was almost 61. Shane McMahon was 36. Triple H was 37. And Shawn Michaels was 41. So you add all those years together. I'm not going to do that right now. But if you add all those years together, it's like 175 or something. If my math's off, don't make fun of me. I did that quickly. So yeah, it's not exactly a youthful match like the Spirit Squad, but we all know what Shane McMahon's capable of, and even Vince McMahon. Vince has had some pretty good matches if you look back. Versus Shane at WrestleMania, versus Austin at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. He's been in some okay matches. Taker at Survivor Series 03. He can Unforgiven 06 after this with the Hell in a Cell. So he can be in part of some okay matches. This one was just okay. But again, it was better than I expected. I rated 3 stars. DX wins at 13:01. Hunter got the hot tag. Shane McMahon did his boot to Triple H at the trash can. Also, Shawn Michaels got the super kick at a good spot for a good finish. And yeah, it was a good match. Nothing more, nothing less. Next, we have the Rated R superstar Edge with his girlfriend Lita as his manager versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. Edge was the heel champion. Cena was the challenger. They were going to Edge's hometown of Toronto for Unforgiven. And that was a month later than this. So a lot of people felt Cena would get the win here. Maybe Edge would get the win there. And it was the opposite. Edge would get the win here. Edge would retain the title against Cena. It was a great match, but it lacked that extra main event thing that you would expect from the main event. And I'm doing this review in 2023, November 7th, 2023. And I say that because we just watched a Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre Crown Jewel match. And the reason I bring that up is because that's what I meant by like main event matches. That wasn't a main event, that was an opener, but it was a world title match. So you expect a world title match or a main event, aka either one, to be something great, but then extra. Like maybe they'll kick out of the finishers. This one just missed that extra. Cena had them in the STFU, but he missed that little extra element that would have added to this match to make it great. I still have it at 3 stars and a quarter, but it did lack a little bit. Edge retained the title at 15:41 after he had brass knucks in his tights. The referee didn't see any of it. JR called him a son of a bitch. Unless I'm just imagining that. If I was JR, I'd call him a son of a bitch. Anyone with brass knucks. Maybe I've been watching too many Regal matches where JR says, that son of a bitch. Because I thought Joey Styles was commentating this pay-per-view. I don't know. I've watched too many SummerSlams in the last little bit. I should have probably made a point to read that. I wrote that in my notes, so I'm pretty sure JR said it. But if he didn't, I apologize. Anyways, that's 3 stars and a quarter. So overall, I give the SummerSlam. I had some troubles. I give this SummerSlam a 6 out of 10. It was a little bit better than average, but not quite. So 6 out of 10 seems about right. C minus. Somewhere around there. So that's SummerSlam 2006. Not very many matches on the card, but the ones that we got were they were credible. Some good things on the card, some not. I'm Brett Mix. This is all my opinion, of course. And I'll see you on the next SummerSlam review. And I'll see you on any other reviews that you want to watch. I put out them every day, guys. So you can subscribe to the channel if you want. I'm not going to tell you to. You can if you want. And you can, the like button, I'd appreciate both things. But do that as you wish. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out.